What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great day today. Today, we're going to check out a video from Infographics. It's one of my favorite shows here on YouTube and, very informative. So, entertaining, informative, educational. Hey,
right up my alley, man.
So, today we're looking at why China is terrified of the new U.S. Manta Ray submarine.
It's so quiet that even regular marine life mistakes it as just one of its own. Yet the American-built underwater drone is large enough to deter any curious would-be predator, which all give it a wide berth. This unique vehicle is about the size of a small commercial fishing vessel, but when seen from above it looks like a giant manta ray cruising the world's oceans. It has no propellers, and the only visible oddity that marks the underwater vehicle as artificial to a casual observer is the large fin that sticks up in the back, like an aircraft tail. It's a predator unlike anything else in the ocean. The same silencing technology that makes American submarines legendarily quiet has gone into its construction. Though it's designed to be expendable, this makes it perfect for penetrating deep into dangerous enemy waters and carrying out the most dangerous of missions. This artificial fish is currently on the hunt for prey. The vehicle features both passive and active sonar, but it's currently cruising along at several knots using only its passive sonar and a host of highly classified sensors, all tuned into catching one of the biggest fish in the ocean, a Chinese attack submarine. And when it finds one, this predator has teeth with which to strike. Up above the waves, the U.S. manned fleet is stretched thin, trying to cover millions of square miles of ocean to keep the Chinese submarines away from shipping routes or even friendly ports back home. Only being able to bring a portion of its total navy to the fight in the Pacific, the United States has been working on a backup plan for years. The Ghost Fleet. The fleet of unmanned vehicles numbers over 100 semi- or completely autonomous vessels, from surface combatants to mobile missile batteries, capable of backing up everything from manned warships to underwater hunters tasked with locating, tracking, and sometimes even destroying Chinese vessels, both above and below the surface. The artificial intelligence-powered artificial manta ray runs all of its sensory data against a library of known signatures from Chinese vessels, until finally there's a match. The big underwater drone banks silently and accelerates toward its target, yet even at top speed it barely emits a whisper as it glides.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy to even think about. If you were flying above it and let's say you were another country, or if you were even an American pilot, you would look down into the water and it would just look like a giant manta ray underwater. So you couldn't even really tell unless there was some sort of, I guess if you were on a ship, you could send some kind of sonar radar down and kind of tell what it is. But no, that's crazy. This is pretty crazy right here.
It's through the water. Nature has spent hundreds of millions of years achieving aquatic perfection, and the Americans are apt in their studies, emulating the natural movement and the design of manta rays for this sub-hunting drone. The Chinese submarine is busy listening for potential prey or predators with a delicate suite of electronic warfare equipment, specifically designed to sniff out enemy drones. However, the artificial manta ray gives off almost no electronic emissions. Onboard AI handles all the decisions a human operator would normally make. The vehicle is designed to engage known threats automatically, but only if it has a confidence rate of above 98%. If it's in any way in doubt about its target, the big drone will instead silently rise to the surface and extend a satellite antenna to send a microburst transmission to an orbiting satellite, relaying its location and the location of the tracked hostile. From there, a human operator will make the decision on what to do next. The drone can either follow the hostile or directly engage it. This time, though, the AI is 100% confident about its target. The Chinese submarine has unique acoustic signatures, and the drone is now in proximity to detect it with enough fidelity that it can even identify the exact submarine it's currently hunting. The AI selects a torpedo from its belly-mounted weapons bay, and a few seconds later, the weapon is silently released into the water.
Yeah, so that's where we're going with our military industrial complex. This is where we're going into AI drones that are submarines now that can deploy bombs against neighboring countries. Man, it's almost over, guys.
A second after that, the torpedo's battery brings its propulsion to life, and the deadly fish is en route to its target. There's no need to hide anymore, and both the drone and the torpedo turn on their active sonar. The Chinese boat is immediately alerted and then terrified to discover just how close the American drone is. The confirmation of a torpedo in the water sends a chill down the captain's spine. There is little hope of evading such a close-range shot, but the submarine immediately ejects countermeasures. Noisemakers are ejected from the openings along the hull into the water, creating an extremely attractive sonar signature for both the drone and the torpedo.
Wow.
The torpedo is lured towards a noisemaker by the juicy sonar return, but the drone's artificial intelligence has identified the sudden spike in noise as countermeasures. It's still linked to the torpedo with a long enough fiber optic cable that spools out behind the torpedo as it travels through the water, and it relays commands to the torpedo to correct its course and ignore the countermeasures. The Chinese captain's face goes pale. There's nothing he can do now but order the boat to perform an emergency.
Yeah, a lot of these AI programs that they have, they learn and they just get better and better and better and better. I play chess a lot, and it's amazing, even over the last 5 years, how insane the chess bots have gotten when it comes to AI. Like, you have like the greatest chess player right now, which is Magnus Carlsen, and he can't even beat these elevated AI bots. And just think about using this in a war situation like this, for example.
Emergency surfacing. Hopefully, they'll be near enough the surface when the torpedo strikes that most of the crew can escape the doomed submarine. The preceding is a potential scenario where America's new sub-hunting drone could be used in case of a war in the Pacific against China. While many nations are pursuing drone programs for land, sea, subsea, and air applications, the United States has identified a need for a massive expansion of naval drones as a priority to ensure stability in the South Pacific. This comes as a result of China's increasingly hostile foreign policy in the South China Sea and in neighboring waters, with the nation bullying its neighbors for access to rich energy and fish resources that fall outside of China's own territorial waters. The situation is so tense that even Vietnam has thrown its lot in with the U.S. in an attempt to fend off China's aggression on the high seas. Earlier this year, the Chinese Navy wounded several Filipino sailors as they attempted to resupply Filipino troops stationed on a shoal inside the Philippines' own territorial waters that are claimed by China. The move has prompted many to wonder where the red line is that'll lead to open conflict. And it's not just its weaker regional neighbors that...
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've always thought, we have what's called international waters, and a lot of times different countries will get as close as they possibly can to a neighboring country. And we had an issue in America recently where we had some Russian and Chinese bombers that were flying in international waters, actually near Alaska. So, I can imagine if you were in this area, like these international waters area, and you're seeing all this stuff, it's almost like trying to punk each other to make sure we're not going to war with each other. It's a really insane game here, man.
That China is picking on. Last year, a Chinese destroyer pulled up alongside an Australian military vessel whose prop had been fouled by discarded fishing nets. The Australian captain alerted the Chinese ship that he had divers in the water, as is normal procedure. Rather than offer assistance, as any other nation navy would do, the Chinese captain instead ordered his ship's sonar to be briefly run at full power, injuring the Australian divers.
Wow.
Add in ever-mounting tensions with Taiwan, and a conflict with China seems all but certain. But if the U.S. is to face off against China, it needs to make up for its lack of numbers. Currently, the Chinese Navy outnumbers the Americans, but most Chinese ships are not suited for open water operations. Despite their superior numbers, U.S. ships are still better equipped and bring more missiles to the fight. But China is slowly closing that gap.
Yeah, guys. So what do you guys think about this new Manta Ray U.S. submarine drone? I can think about the situation of having something like this when it comes to China is going to eventually invade Taiwan. And I'm wondering, are we putting information out there as America just to let them know, hey, we've got this? Do they already know we have this? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't know. This is definitely something I want to look more into. I think this is absolutely fascinating. A little article on this recently, and I definitely wanted to touch on this and see, what it was all about. You guys let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about the new Manta Ray submarine drone that America has? It looks terrifying. Guys, have a great day. Take care. You're watching On Air with Nick Driver podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Daily content here on YouTube.